Hey guys, badoomtch, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to render in 1080p for Sony Vegas Pro 2013. So I'm going to be showing you the best settings for YouTube. I've had a look on probably around 50 tutorials for each program when I used to use them all, and I have progressed between Movie Maker to Camtasia to Vegas to Premiere, and Premiere is the one I'm sticking with, and it's industry standard, so it's something that I'm definitely going to be using for the very, very long future. I doubt anything better is going to come along. So if you're going to use Premiere, if you're going to use Vegas, I'd recommend using Premiere. It's a lot easier, it's a lot more professional, and it contains a hell of a lot more features. But I have done a tutorial for all of the rest if you want to check those out. And anything to do with this tutorial will be linked down in the description, including the program itself. So the first thing you want to do is open Sony Vegas, and you want to drag your footage right into, you can either drag into here or here. In here, if you have lots of clips, but if you have one, I recommend just dragging it straight to the timeline, and then you'll be prompted, would you like to keep the original video settings? I'd click yes. This just makes your video, I wish this wasn't default to tiny little window. And this will just keep your settings from your original video, and it'll make it look the best. If you know what you're doing, then yeah, you can change things in the properties part by here. You can use by Alt and Enter, but you saw on the prompt then. So as you can see, I chose footage that was 60 frames a second, and the height is nearly 1080p, but we'll render in 1080p nevertheless. The first thing you want to do is, this is so important. I've already recorded this tutorial, but I forgot the major part, which is kind of an error that you don't really want to be making. So the first thing we want to do is right click your footage and click properties. Then you want to disable resample. So what that does is stop frames like blending into each other and stop so it doesn't look so, I don't really know what the word for it is, just so it doesn't look like it's blended together and so you can't see the previous frame, just so it looks much better. So when you've done all that, I'm not going to be teaching you how to edit in this program, in this tutorial even. I'm just going to be teaching you how to render. So when you've done all your editing, you click render as on the top. You're probably familiar with this button. And when that pops up, you want to scroll right to the bottom of the list until you find Windows Media Video 11. It should say 11 if you've got the latest version. If not, you can still follow along with the tutorial either way, because last time I used it, it was on 12, and I've used it ever since Sony Vegas 9. And I've always done the same settings. So as you can see, this is from testing, and this is from this previous video. But either way, we're just going to be starting on a template that you should already have. It's called 8 megabits a second HD 1080p 30p video. None of that matters. You can do any of them because we will be changing it all drastically anyway. But you want to click customize template, and then here you can either name it something. So you could use, I don't know, you could call it YouTube settings. Well, in my case, it'd be number 3. So then you want to click save. And then down here, you want to make sure it's on CBR. If yours is on quality VBR, change it to CBR. CBR means constant bitrate, and that's just a constant quality throughout, like way through. It doesn't fluctuate at all, and that's the way you get the best quality. For format, I just keep it on Windows Media Audio 9.2. I never had a problem with it, never really changed it. I wouldn't have changed it because I've never had a problem. There's no need to. The audio quality is compressed, very low on YouTube anyway. I'm not even sure if it's can even output 320 kilobits a second. I assume so, but that must be like a kind of a recent change because I know it never used to. But either way, if you go on video, you'll see it's on CBR already. Make sure it is on CBR. Quality VBR may sound better, but CBR is just a constant bitrate, which is something I've always liked. Other tutorials will tell you different, but constant bitrate sounds a lot better than, you know, fluctuating bitrate in certain areas. It does make the file size larger, especially using a WMV file. But I'm willing to sacrifice hard drive space for good quality video. So you don't really want to change anything until you get to image size, and you want to click custom. If yours is not already at 1080p or 720p, then make sure you change that. Make sure you change your pixel aspect ratio to square, otherwise you're just going to get like huge letterboxing on the side, and it's not going to look great. Your frame rate, you can either change that to 30 or 29.97. Both work very well for YouTube. And the seconds per keyframe, I put that at 0. I think that just makes every frame a keyframe. Pretty sure that's how that works. And if not, then tell me different, or tell the comments different, because I don't use this anymore. But video smoothness, it may look very good because, you know, it's almost on 100. Drag it right to 100, highest quality video, right? Wrong. You want to put that right down to smoothest. If you put it all the way up, it's horrible. The video quality is awful. I don't know why there are tutorials telling you to drag it right up. You can do it yourself, so take 10-second clips and test it for yourself and you'll see what I mean. It just looks so much, it's weird to say, but it looks sharper and it looks a much better picture on smoothest. And then you don't need to change anything for this. You want to go to bitrate, and it will be default if you chose the same preset that I did. It'll be default on 8M, which is fine. 8 megabits a second is absolutely fine, but I changed mine to around 55. I'm not sure if YouTube accepts it, but I just like being high quality just in case, so when it does get compressed down, it's not getting compressed down to really bad. It's just, you know, it'll be good. That's why I keep mine at, but 8 is absolutely fine. If you haven't got much hard drive space, or if you're on a laptop, I'd recommend 8. But if you're on a desktop and you have an i7, i5 or whatever, then 55, between 30 and 60 is great. Then you want to go to the index summary. If you want to change anything, if you're doing a movie, then you can do the movie title, author, engineer, copyright, and description, and stuff like that. But in YouTube's case, it really doesn't matter. The only thing you want to do now is go to project and change this to best. This will just change your video rendering quality. And best is obviously the best. Color space, if you know anything about this, put this down in the description, down in the comments even. Just because I don't really know anything about it, I've just kept mine at default and I've always liked it. Obviously after a bit of color correction, I'm not sure if that matters, but I've always liked that. So then you want to choose wherever your movie's going. So in this case, mine's going on the desktop, and we're just going to call this, I know, Sony V3, because this is my third take doing this video. And then you want to click render. Something I've always liked about Sony Vegas rendering, it does it super quick. It shouldn't have done it that quick though. So as you can see, something I just did there was I only highlighted a small part of the video, so we're going to click render again, and now it's going to take a little bit longer. I only rendered like literally about 2 seconds of the video, but as you can see, it's actually going to take not too long. It's actually one of the fastest rendering programs I've ever used, despite I realized it's only a 15-second clip, but if you compare it to Premiere and stuff, this seems much faster than all the rest, so we'll be right back when this is done. So when it's done, it'll make like a little ting sound, and then you can click open folder, and I just want to show you the quality. It's pretty good. It's actually very good. It's a lot better than it is in Camtasia, which was what I chose in my previous tutorial. It actually looks like you are playing Minecraft. If you were to pause this at like certain points, then you could probably pass it off as playing Minecraft, especially at a high bit rate. Maybe not after YouTube's compressed it, but in this case it is very high quality. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial, guys. Make sure you check out any of the others if you want to test out any of the other programs, because they're great. I've done tutorials for Movie Maker, Camtasia, Vegas, and Premiere. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.